Hello loves, how are you today? I just thought I'd come on and talk to you all about my journey as an artist so far. Thank you for those few who have listened to what I have to say thus far. There's been a lot that's happened the past year and a half, and this world is pretty much in shambles right now. So I don't really have to rehash all of the latest major events. If you don't live in a cave, you should know the gist of some of those recent major current events going on right now. And I can live a bit in a cave, I'm not gonna lie. It's easy for me to get wrapped up in my own personal problems. But I feel like there's some things that you should know about, even if you don't follow the news or social media and stuff like that. Some things you're just gonna know. You're just gonna know whether you follow those things or not. And those things I don't have to talk about because you should know. And if you're looking at my video right now, I'm assuming you don't live in a cave that deep to even be looking at this video. So I don't need to talk about the latest major current events. I'm not gonna go over that. What I'm gonna go over, for those who are trying to be an artist in some form or fashion, like me, because I think it really helps just hearing someone else's story, hearing their struggles, their successes, to just let you know that you're not alone. We're all just doing the best we can. That's all we can do. Just do the best you can and don't give up on your goals, on your aspirations, your dreams, etc. So yeah, basically I looked up and I was 29 and I realized I'm not really where I want to be right now in my life, and that's okay. As long as you're alive, there's time to do whatever it is you want to do. What I have learned is you're going to go through a phase in life when you're just going to question everything about your being, your purpose, the path you're taking. You're going to have doubts about the path that you're on, and it's a bit of a crisis. Yeah, I can definitely say I'm on the other side of the storm of that crisis. Like, the winds are calming down as the wind is blowing my hair right now. But yeah, the winds are calming down. The storm is settling, and I'm not feeling as lost as I was, not as much as a fish out of water. We can use all the excuses in the world for why we're not where we're supposed to be. And sure, there's a lot of outside factors that really can be roadblocks for you in life. But don't let those roadblocks discourage you from keeping on. If nothing else, they just make you stronger. So I've grown stronger from the challenges I've faced in my life, the setbacks that I've faced. And when you come out through the other side of those setbacks, you just feel that much stronger and that much more motivated. So that's what I wanted to do today, just to come on here and to tell those who feel lost, who are feeling discouraged, that what you're going through right now, no matter how bad the pain is, just don't give up, because you will see the other side of that storm. Just keep breathing, stay alive, do the best you can wherever you are in life and whatever job you have, and really, really try to focus more on what you do have and not on what you don't have. Just focus on what you do have and work with that. Get strength from that. I'm a believer of Christ, and Christ really gives me strength spiritually. I'm definitely on a spiritual journey right now, just really trying to understand more of who God is. And once you really understand God's love for you, that really gives you a whole new sense of peace too, and self-love. But for those who aren't so spiritual, just focus on the good things that you have. Get your strength from that to keep going. And those good things that are in your life, those are blessings, those are miracles, because it's so much more wrong that could be going on. As bad as just the situation you're in right now, I don't know what that is. Just try to focus on the good in the midst of that storm, okay? And that'll get you through that storm. And once you get to the other side, you're gonna be like, wow, I am so strong. I'm still alive. I got through that. I didn't give up, because I definitely went through that time in my life where I was so low that I didn't want to be here anymore. I felt like everything was wrong, like I didn't have purpose, like I was just going through the motions. I got tired of being depressed and feeling pain all the time, and I just wanted that pain to stop. But by the grace of God, I was able to pick myself up, and once I accepted Christ in my heart, that pain just went away. I mean, my depression is cured. I have no more depression. And I got this whole newfound motivation, knowing that, wow, I'm still breathing, I'm still alive, I'm here for a reason. So let's find out what that reason is. Let's not give up. You stay alive, you be strong, you get through it, you will find your purpose. And things will start to make sense. And then you'll be like, wow, I had to go through all of that for this moment right here, for this reason right here. And I'm the type of person that when I'm feeling down, feeling sad, helping somebody else feel happy makes me feel happier, and it gives me more purpose, and it makes me feel like, wow, okay, even if it was just for this small moment to help someone else in need, to get them on their feet, then I don't feel so bad anymore. Then I feel like, wow, if I wasn't here, I wouldn't have been able to help this person. If I didn't go through the struggles I went through, I would not have been able to make a difference in someone else's life, for them to get through their storms. So, and it all goes back to love. Just, the world needs more love right now, and that's including self-love. So start with yourself. Get yourself on a path that you can be motivated on a path where you know it will lead to a place you want to be, to a successful place. And these are multiple routes, you all. Like, there are multiple paths we could take, truly, but you can only do one path at a time. As a human being, we can only take one path at a time. So if you find the opportunity to take a certain path that will lead into a result that you at least like, I would say go for it. You might get to that point and you might end up falling in love with it and just do that for the rest of your life. But if you follow a certain path and it does not lead to where you're completely happy with, that's okay too, because you still learn from that experience. You still learn from that, you grew from that, and you're still alive. So guess what? You can choose another path that will lead to somewhere else that might work out. And again, if it doesn't, choose something else. As long as you're alive, you can always trial and error. And it's all about the experience of learning, meeting new people, sharing, love, charity. I'm telling you, that's what life's about. And it all leads to love, all right? But like I said, start with self-love. Get yourself in a place where you are confident with who you are. Don't doubt your abilities. Have confidence in yourself. And I've struggled with that too. I've always been very hard on myself, feeling like I'm just not good enough with anything. Even with my art, I feel like I'm so mediocre. I'm so amateur. But I feel like if you've ever gotten to that point where you feel like you've arrived and you can't learn anymore, there's no more room for growth, I think that's kind of boring. Like, think about it. Every day that you're alive, you can learn something new. If you feel like you know everything and you're just already at the top, where do you go from there? So it's a positive in feeling like you're not an expert at what you do, because that's something to look forward to get better in. So this is where I am in my art journey right now, and I'm happy to finally have reached this place. I'm proud of myself to have gotten through the storms, to know that I'm strong enough to have gotten through that. And like I said, grace be to God. You know, I give Christ all the glory, because you know, I'm only a human being. As much credit we want to give ourselves, there's so many things that happen out of our control around us that there's no way I can say it was all me. It's definitely a higher existence that has allowed me to make it this far. Like I said, I don't know what your spiritual beliefs are, but I definitely believe there's balance in everything. There's so much bad things going on in this world that there's got to be good to balance that out. Something bigger than ourselves. And that gives me peace to know that no matter what happens, there's somebody bigger than this world that loves me for me and is watching out for me in spite of my flaws, because I'm not perfect. You know, human is the error. Nobody's perfect. And I feel so blessed to be here, to have made it this far. And so I think that that's what I'm most proud of right now about myself. So that's another thing I want to point out. If you're not where you want to be right now, find those things about yourself to be proud about. You know, think about those accomplishments you have made. You know, those baby steps, those baby accomplishments. Don't give that. I mean, you should give that more credit than you think. Those baby accomplishments, don't underestimate that. All right, it's a big deal, and it should be celebrated. Be proud of yourself for that. Be proud of yourself for being alive right now. You made it this far. You're breathing. You are alive, and as long as you're alive, there's hope. And so, where I am right now is working with what I do know, the experiences I do have, because I've done so many jobs. I have done so many jobs trying to make money. I have worked as a substitute teacher. I have worked as a front desk associate at a spa. I've worked as a hotel desk clerk. I've worked as a barista. I've worked as an adjunct instructor. I've worked as a tutor. I've worked as an online art teacher. It was just a summer job, but an online art teacher nonetheless. I actually still have videos posted from that if you want to check that out. And in all of those jobs I've done, I feel like they were still mediocre. And I feel like it was always issues with managers, training, poor training, you name it. And then not enough pay. You know, this was me just trying to find my niche. And I was running away from education. Because that's really what most of my experience was in tutoring or subbing, working at a community college as a special needs adult life skills instructor, and so it was still in education and different revenues and different fields for different settings, but it was still the same field in education. So that's why I branched off, tried to do different things, get in the food industry, get in the hospitality industry, and just nothing felt right. And I just felt like, man, you know, I've been doing this job just to make money, really, because really what I want to do is just be an artist. I just want to do what I love and make enough money just to support myself, to have a decent living. I'm not even asking to be rich, you know. I don't need the glitz and the glam. I don't need the high-end brands. I don't need the fancy cars. I don't need any of that. I just want a comfortable living, and I want to work on my crafts and share my work with the world. Just because I feel like it really makes people happy. My art, when I finish it, it makes me happy. And I want to share that with others to make them happy too. You know, my work is all about nature, peace, tranquility. And I feel like nature truly heals the soul and gives you peace. And that's really what it's all about. I have tried to find my niche in art itself too, though, and that's been kind of a struggle for me. And I finally have arrived in what kind of art I want to share with the world. If any of you follow me on Instagram at any point, you saw that I had become kind of an activist, civil rights activist, and I didn't know what I was doing with that either. I was just posting videos because I was so upset about what happened in 2020 with George Floyd, and I was just really sharing my thoughts about it and my experience as a Black American woman. And I hope those videos help some people. But that was really misguided too. It was all guided from anger. And I never want to do that again. I want my work and my words that I share to be from a place of peace, because that's what my work is all about, peace. And civil unrest is not a peaceful situation. But it also just stirs up a lot of anger for me, and I'm sure for many others. And rightfully so. However, anger misguided is not very productive. So I'm glad I shared what I did. I think that was very important for me as an individual, and it made me feel empowered to just speak what I wanted to speak without caring. I even made a rap song. I did poetry, and I just shared my thoughts about just how discouraging Black Americans feel in this country, how we're not given the same resources that people who aren't of color seem to receive. They seem to have more privilege. You know, white privilege is real. However, we can't let that stop us. You know, we have to believe in ourselves. We have to believe that we can own our own businesses, that we can restore generational wealth, that we can close this wealth gap. We're very capable, very, very capable. And I think what it is, we really just need to be more united as a people. The system, this institutionalized racism, really did a great job at dividing Black people, dividing the Black community, brothers against brothers, sisters against sisters, and that just should not be. But this is a reality. So I think we really need to just focus with ourselves. Again, it starts with yourself. We need to focus on our community and try to heal our community, be more united, working together, and then from there, we're a powerhouse. I think that at the end of the day, every person, Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, we all want to be successful and be treated with equal respect. So, we're not trying to say, we should get any special handouts. We just want equal treatment, equal resources. So, at the end of the day, though, I had backed off on those videos. I'm glad I did it, like I said. And it's so interesting. I'll look it up real quick. I saw this special on KRA, and apparently there was this show that aired back in the 70s, I believe. It was back in the 70s. Give me a second, I'm looking it up right now. It up right now. This show was a platform for Black Americans to really just express themselves, and they would do poetry, they would sing, they would dance. Very, very talented Black people, very, very talented. And I was so happy to see something like this. And I was just like, why don't we have something like this today? A platform for Black Americans to just express our frustrations, our place in society, where we want to be in society, just to be heard. We want to be heard. And I just thought it was so amazing to see this. Oh my goodness, I'm struggling to find this. Hold up. Let's see. Sorry, give me a second. Just give me a second. Okay. So his name is Ellis Heslop. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. Ellis Hazlip. Ellis Hazlip. And it says here that Ellis B. Hazlip was an American television and theatrical producer, broadcaster, and promoter of African American culture. Hazlip is best known as the creator, producer, and host of the television variety show Soul. Okay, Soul. It was just called Soul with an exclamation mark. And when I looked at some of the clips from this show, these black people were on this show showing their talent. They could sing, they could dance, they were doing poetry. And it reminded me of what I was doing on Instagram. I didn't know what I was doing, y'all. I got on Instagram and just started talking. I rapped. I was upset. I was mad. I was expressing myself as a very, very frustrated, angry Black American woman. And, most Black people, a lot of us hold a lot in. There's so many just subtle racial slurs that are thrown at us on a daily that we just learn to ignore it. We just learn to ignore it till we can get through our days. We won't be walking around upset and mad all the time. But I was just very, very, it's like something awoke in me with the events that went down in 2020 with George Floyd and then Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, finding out about all these shootings from the cops who were supposed to serve and protect us, and I know it's been going on for years, but just seeing the footage from that and everything else that was exposed, it just woke up all of this anger I had been suppressing. So it was all just coming out on Instagram. But anyway, I didn't realize that when I saw the clip from this show Soul, I realized, wow, that's what I was doing. Because when I was on Instagram and I looked at my videos and I thought about it, I was actually embarrassed after I had posted them, and I got off of Instagram completely. I just disappeared. I want to get back on Instagram though and share my art again. I think it's just going to be a completely new account, just a new year. I've grown so much, and the art that I'm portraying now is different. I had even started a line to obviously make statements about civil rights and supporting Black lives. However, I want my art to be about peace, tranquility, nature, things that inspire and uplift people of any background. And so, yes, I'm going to speak up. I'm going to say the truth when it needs to be said. If you ask me, I'm going to tell you. However, I want my art to be something that people can go to and just feel peace and love and joy and inspiration and uplifting and spirituality, positive spirituality, and just serenity, and it's when you're an activist, when you're talking about all these political issues and matters, it's very hurtful. It's hurtful, and it's not peaceful. It's not what I want people to come onto my page and to feel and to see. I don't want them to feel pain and sadness and anger. No, I want my work to be something that makes people happy when they look at it, and just to forget about the issues of this world. I want my art to be an escape for people from this evil, cruel, crazy world. So I'm going to focus on that. That's the direction that I'm going. However, I want to keep learning about my history. I encourage everyone to. I encourage us to keep having these uncomfortable conversations. And that's how we will grow as a nation. And that's how we will be able to one day have equality, racial equality, and racism will be a thing of the past. And I know racism is all throughout the world, but it's something different about America. It's something different about the racism in America. And how black people were brought over here in the first place. It's just different. And no, as much as people want to ignore it, it won't go away. It won't go away. That pain from that history, this institutionalized racism, it will not go away until we start having these uncomfortable conversations, until we start calling people out on their BS, until we start uniting as a people. And so, I believe that though. It just starts with one person. And then one day we'll look up, yeah, you always have your few that are just going to be set in their ways. But I feel like these newer generations, nah, we not about that. We see how dumb racism is and how stupid it is. So, I'm just going to stay hopeful. Even for the world. Like, that was so amazing to see countries in different, parts of the world protesting for George Floyd. That was amazing. It was so amazing. So, we've come a long way, and there's definitely hope. So, with that being said, bringing it back to the point of the video, and it all really goes together. I'm just talking about my journey as an artist and my experience as a Black American artist, and so it all ties together. But yeah, there's actually one more thing before I sign off. Just to continue conversations like this in general, just to be inspiring and uplifting. I think it's so amazing, and I'm so proud of myself that I'm not afraid to speak anymore, just to help other people out there, in one way or the other. But there was this other show that I just recently found out about, which I should probably have already known about. It's called Uncomfortable Conversations with a Black Man, and it's written by Emmanuel Aiko. He is a former football player, and I think it's absolutely amazing that he's written this book. He started the show, and I love it. It's just amazing because we have to have uncomfortable conversations with Black people to understand them, to understand what you should and should not say, to get rid of indirect racism, to get rid of this subtle racism, ignorant racism. There's all types of racism, but the epitome of racism itself is to hate someone just because of the color of their skin. You feel like you are better than someone just because of the color of their skin, and that is racism at its epitome. But people don't realize that just saying ignorant stuff can be hurtful too. So educate yourself. Know what and what not to say. Even, some people who aren't Black, are offended by certain things that anybody would say to them of any race, if it's coming from a place of ignorance. Don't say anything unless you know what you're talking about. Just think before you speak. You know what I'm saying? So having uncomfortable conversations with people to learn about their culture, to understand, what they feel like their place in society is, and to understand how they would like to be treated, it would solve so many problems. And so I love Emmanuel Aiko's efforts and what he has done, and I just wanted to share this with you all so you can check out his book. He might even have a podcast, I want to say. So yeah, that's pretty cool, and I'm gonna put the link in the description box below about his book. I would love to write my own book. But yeah, let's just keep having uncomfortable conversations. Let's just keep being real. And I'm so happy that I got to share this conversation with you all today. And I hope that it has helped you in some form or fashion. But the takeaway from this is to love yourself, accept where you are in life right now. As long as you're alive, there's always hope. That's the takeaway from this video. And, have confidence in yourself. Know that you can be successful. Just use the resources that you have around you right now. Use the experience that you have and see where you can go from there. And so I'm taking the route of, since the fact that I've been in education for so long, and these other odd end jobs I've been doing have been working, it's not helping me. And money is one thing, but even if you're making money and you're not happy, that money doesn't mean anything. Yes, sure, you can pay the bills and stuff, But do you really want to stay working in a place day in and day out as your life goes by and you're not happy? Is it worth it? No. So get yourself, if you can, it might not happen right away, but just at least have that mindset of where you want to be and make steps to get there. Okay. So I had decided to just stop with these odd end jobs, get back into a route in education where I can teach art. So that's the good news. I want to be an art teacher. It just makes sense. And it's so funny because guess what? I had a conversation with another substitute who was at one of the schools I subbed for last week, and he just talked to me about his journey, and we had some similar struggles in life, and he looked up and he said that he just needed to choose a path. He needed to have a plan. And so he actually helped me. He sat down with me and helped me make a plan. And it looks like everything's lining up for me to go ahead and be an art teacher. So it'll be so great to just be in a field where I can work on my crafts, where I can network. Not only will I be able to make projects for the students, but also for myself. I can learn as I'm teaching them. And God is good. I'm just so grateful to have finally made it to this place. And I was trying to tutor. I did that online art job once, but it was just a summer thing, like I said, and I've tutored in other subjects and things like that because I thought tutoring was the way to go. I was like, I'm never going to get back in education. I'm never going to do it. The system is messed up, especially the public schools. But you know what? I don't see how teaching art can go wrong in any school because art is therapy for these kids. And I want to say that I made a difference in a kid's life by allowing them to come to a place where they can feel safe, where they can express themselves and have a voice. And that's a beautiful thing. I find that art is therapy for me. Is that a wasp? Oh, no, it's a wasp. Ooh. Crisis averted. That was scary. Oh, that wasp was crazy. It just came out of nowhere. It started trying to attack me. My gosh. I didn't do nothing to that wasp. Okay, anyway, as I was saying, yeah, so I would love to be a part of that. And so yeah, I'll be sharing more of that with you guys, and I'm excited. It'll allow me to be more creative and to just have that be my focus in my work. I want to do a job where I'm focused on my craft, and this is it. It just makes sense. I don't want to be afraid anymore. And I think a lot of it was fear that kept me from doing it, feeling like I wouldn't be good enough for these kids, that I would screw up the lesson plans, that I would make a parent mad or something. But I don't want to be afraid anymore. If I'm just present, if I'm just there for those kids and doing the best I can do this. And what greater purpose is there than to make a positive impact in a child's life through art? I mean, it doesn't get better than that. So that is my sign off. Can't really think of anything else much to say. And I will see you next time. Stay blessed. Thank you for watching. Until next time. All right.